Would you allow a factory farm to operate right outside your home, right in your front lawn? So I posed this question yesterday, and there was a teenager over here, and he hollers out, "How much you paying me?" And I said, no, buddy, you got it backwards. We, the homeowner, are paying a landscape service. We are given the money to do that and make that happen. So check out this farm. That field looks a lot like a lawn. A lot of people don't realize that the grass we grow for our lawns is a crop. Now, it's not wheat, it's not corn, it's not rice, it's not a crop that we eat. But all these plants belong to the same family, which means they all behave the same. We treat them the same. That is the source of our homeowners' frustration with our lawns, because there's this mystery. We don't understand it. We're not thinking of it like a crop. But I've got really, really good news for you guys. 10,000 years ago, our ancestors figured out how to grow these grassy plants. Not only did they grow them, they grew them well. They grew them so well, they could feed the planet. We could base civilization on this. The reason we have cities and societies and different jobs is because we do not have to spend all of our time hunting and gathering. Now that is really cool. And I think that we are every bit as smart as they were. So obviously somewhere on the timeline, there was a disconnect. We got separated from that. So today what we're going to do is we're going to bridge that gap. We're going to take the lessons from our ancient agricultural ancestors, and we're going to apply them to our landscapes here in Charleston today. We are in the land of the live oaks down here in the Low Country. These shady, gorgeous, beautiful trees, they are part of our culture. This is a symbol. The angel oak is a symbol of Charleston. Now, when we look at that, do we even notice that there's not grass underneath it? More importantly, do we even care? So this is part of our culture. Growing things is part of all of our cultures. We think of the agave that they can grow in Mexico and the tequila they can make out of it. We think of the grapes that they can grow in France and that bubbly, bubbly champagne. But I've worked with a lot of Latinos in my landscape career, and I've never once heard one of them rave about champagne. When they get off work on Friday, they're having tequila, because that is their culture, that is their plant, that is their pride from where they're from. These shady trees, grass will not grow under shade. So let's talk about what will. Let's talk about the gorgeous shade plants that are Charleston culture, your Charleston garden culture. The azaleas down here are world class. Our historic gardens, people come from all over to see our azaleas. Sometimes there's so much color you don't even see the green. They come to see our camellias, these giant buds. They just swell and swell and swell, and then just open up and flow forth with these billowy petals of all different colors and patterns. The sheer beauty of it. There is an entire camellia society where they get together and talk about how to grow camellias, how to care for them. And of course, cities are vertical, so we got to give some love to our vines, our climbers, everything that climbs up these poles, these trellises, these big structures that we have. You do not even have to see Confederate jasmine to reap the rewards when it's in bloom. The fragrance will just rain down on us. And when you draw it in, it's soothing. It's almost intoxicating. These are the plants that are adapted for our region and our shady areas. Our ancient agricultural ancestors did not try to force something that wasn't natural. They did not try to grow a sun plant in the shade, which we oftentimes do with our grass. That's lesson number one. Lesson number two, they understood that there was a flow to life, that life moves in cycles. All things have a cycle. You have a sleep cycle. Tide comes in, tide goes out, sun goes up, moon comes up. These are all natural things in life. And our ancestors understood this. They respected it. And they understood that cover crops and crop rotations were necessary to keep their land healthy as part of these cycles. They respected it so deeply, they based their early religions on it. So let's talk about the natural sleep cycle of our grass here today. You see that grass goes dormant in the winter, It grows a lot during the summer. You got to mow it every week sometimes. Slows down in the fall. I've seen a lot of people, they're trying to keep that grass greener longer than it should be. They're interrupting that natural sleep cycle that the grass has. They're disrespecting that natural cycle. They're fertilizing so much in the spring. They're trying to be the first ones on the block with it greening up. And they're out there pushing that spreader, sweating, fertilizing in the fall. They're trying to keep it greener longer. And they're wasting a lot of product. You're creating a weaker grass by doing that, and you're putting out a lot of fertilizer that's ultimately not going to get used by the plant and end up in our waterways, polluting our water. I can tell you that trying to wake me up too early and then keep me up to midnight pounding coffee, I'm not going to perform my best. So why are we expecting our grass to look its best, to perform its best, when we are not giving it its dormancy cycle? But there are other things that are not dormant during the time that our grasses are dormant. There's other grasses and other cover crops that we can use. This picture was taken in February. The texture might be not quite what you're used to, but is your lawn this green in February? This is rye and clover overseeded in a centipede lawn. There are other things that we can rotate and other things that we can use as cover crops to keep our lawns looking beautiful year round. The third lesson that we can learn from our ancient agricultural ancestors is companion planting. When they would plant their crops, they wouldn't do so in one big field, row after row of the same thing. Again, that is unnatural. They would grow their crops together. The Native Americans had a crop system they called the Three Sisters. They believed these sisters could help each other, complement each other, and grow better together, just as we as humans are better together. So each one had a job. First thing they would plant is the corn, because corn gets tall. If you've ever been in a cornfield, you can get lost out there. It's tall, which makes it a great trellis for our second sister, the beans. Beans need support. They climb up there. We all need support sometimes, but beans need support all the time. And they are truly magical, and they deserve all that support. Beans, the magical fruit. Special place in my heart for the entire bean family. So we'll get back to them in a minute, but the third sister also has a very important job. So squash, it has these great big palmate leaves, and it grows real low to the ground, and it sprawls everywhere. It suppresses the weed growth. It keeps the weeds from being able to pop up. It's like weeds, nope, don't think about it. So back to the beans. The reason they're so magical is that this entire family of plants, known as legumes, can effortlessly pull the nitrogen from the atmosphere, and with the help of some friends in the soil, some soil fungi down there, convert it into a soil-stable nitrogen source that the plants can use and take up. I mean, that is magic. That is just the magic of chemistry and intelligent design at work right there. And for anybody who might not be a chemistry person, the homeowner needs to remember two things about legumes, legumes and beans. And that is free fertilizer. So what does this companion planting look like in our lawns here in Charleston? Well, let the different grass types grow together. Chances are your lawn is not a uniform environment. These grasses can complement each other, and where one is weak, another can pick up the slack. They can grow and intermingle. And yes, let things other than grass be part of that mix. My friend, the white clover, number one in my heart, another legume, another bean family plant. You might even have to look twice to even tell that this is oversown with clover. Clover's mixed all up in there. Now, I know a lot of you are like, why are you sowing clover, man? That's a weed. I'm out there, I'm fighting it, and I'm trying to get it out of my lawn. Why would I want it there? Well, I'll tell you why. Because it's evergreen, it's soft, it's beautiful, it's a pollinator food source, and it's free fertilizer, guys. Come on. No more trips to the box store. So, if we can just do these three things, if we can plant what's adapted for our environment, respect the natural cycles that are already at play, and utilize companion planting, you will not have a factory farm outside of your front lawn. Yeah.